Hi everyone. Today I thought I would just talk about um, past relationships and how, like, I'm talking about romantic relationships and how those can affect us and how to overcome those bad feelings that's left behind, and just covering a whole lot of topics and giving some advice about on how to deal with those kind of situations, because I do have a few experience myself and I've learned different things with each relationship, and it's just beneficial, I feel like, to the to young girls or guys, whoever. If you are interested in this makeup look, I suggest you check out my last video, because I did a talk through get ready with me video in my last video. I will link it down, and also check the iCard. I'll put it up there as well. Anyway, let's get to the video. So I'm 30 years old. For those of you who doesn't know me, well, many of you don't know me personally, but that's not what I mean. If you don't, if you're a new subscriber or if you just randomly came across my channel, thank you so much, first of all. But I am 30 years old and I am a mom. I am married. I have a 2-year-old son, and I am also expecting a little baby girl in November. And before I got married 4.5 years ago, our 50th wedding anniversary is coming up, which is in January. So exciting, it's amazing. And before that, I was obviously dating and had a couple of relationships and did go through some bad things, and ended up where I am today, which is a great place with my personal growth and things like that. I'm so proud of myself for who I've become. Let's just talk about relationships. Now, I know from what I hear from other people and things like that, one of the main things that I've noticed is, maybe with our culture, I don't know, I'm from a Sri Lankan, like my background is Sri Lankan, and I spent half of my life in Australia, and yeah, pretty much my good teenage years, or like the teenage years that would be rebellious, were spent in Australia, where everything's very westernized and things like that, and it's hard to balance your culture when you're coming from another country and your parents are from that country and things like that. But what I've noticed is a lot of people from my background tend to meet somebody, and without thinking about the consequences or the future with them, they would definitely fall in love. You can't control who you fall in love with, that I understand, but you have to understand other circumstances, their family background and things like that, and their behavior and this and that. So what I have seen is that certain people find somebody, fall in love and have a relationship, knowing that, this other person has all these bad habits, their family is not a good match, and they have anger, or they don't have a job, like all these things that could affect in the long term, that might not look like it's much right now because you're in love, it's new, exciting, and you just want to have that feeling without thinking about the rest of the world. But in actuality, those things do matter, and they come into play if you want to get married, if you are married and having children and things like that. Those things can come up. So people tend to just go with the flow, hoping that they will change, it will become okay, I'll forgive him or I'll forgive her, I know this, that's okay for now. So, which is not something you should ever do. If you are never going to find somebody who is 100% perfect match for you, every person is different. The main thing is communication and compromise. And trust, basically. If you don't have those three things in your relationship, it will be a disaster. You don't want to live and spend the rest of your life with a person that you argue with constantly, that you have to prove your point to, who doesn't support you. This has nothing to do with male or female. It can go either way. Because from my past experience, I've had 2 serious relationships in the past, and both of them lasted, one lasted about a year and the other one lasted longer than a year, and I was very young at the time. So even with my experience and my husband's past experience, we know that either side, regardless if they're a male or a female, could have the same sort of effect on you. And just without revealing a lot, because I don't like to talk about my personal life that much, and these things that I've actually moved past and just don't want to bring it up again. With one of my relationships, he was very supportive and all for it, but eventually I just kind of had the feeling that he had the wrong intentions to be with me. And he was from Sri Lanka, so we did have a long distance relationship, and I was very young. I was about 19, and that was my first boyfriend, and everything was new to me. Also, I hadn't grown up as a person. I was confused with myself. I had an attitude. I didn't understand communication, what it's like to be in a relationship. It was my first relationship, and it was just getting a little out of hand. That ended. It moved on from it. Took me a very, very long time to move on from that. I'm talking a couple of years, but eventually I did move on from it, and it was fine. So that was one of the experience. And my second relationship was very, it wasn't anything that I've ever expected to go through. He was overbearingly controlling, and it was just, and he lived here in Brisbane, so it was not a long distance relationship, but that was kind of annoying because I don't know, it was just, he was very overbearing and very controlling and abusive, and I've never had that kind of experience, and I don't wish that on anybody. And that was one of the experiences I had. So thinking back about these relationships, what I can say is that with both of them, I did have that gut feeling in the beginning. You know what? Maybe this is not the right thing. And I should have listened to my mom. If she's watching this video, she's going to be like, I told you so. But yes, if I didn't go through those experiences with those guys, I would never become the person that I am today. So in a way, I am grateful for my experiences that I've had, because that's what it is about. You grow from your mistakes. If you've never made a mistake in your entire life, you're not going to know how it's like to fail, and how it's like to move on from that, and how much strength you need to move on from that, and how to start fresh, And when I met my husband 5 years ago, which is funny because we met, and if you guys want to know about how we met and things like that, we have another video. I'll link it down. We met, and 4 months later we were married. I know this is gonna sound cliche, but when you meet somebody and you have that feeling this is the one, it actually is the one. Because every other time you'll realize this after the relationship, that after the relationship's ended, you'll realize probably, okay, you know, there were so many red flags, how come I didn't pick them up? But you'll know that you always had that gut feeling, but you just didn't want to go with it. Because, you know, for some people, it might be harder to start over. You just don't want to, you know, go back into dating and then meet somebody new, go through the whole process again, and it can be a lot. So I understand that. The main thing about getting over a relationship, first of all, you have to forgive yourself. If you don't forgive yourself, if you're holding on to guilt, or if you're the one who broke up, you'll have some guilt probably. Or if you got dumped by the other person, you'll feel animosity, anger, hatred, whatever towards that person. And you should not have any sort of feeling towards that person. Now, a very good, one of my mentors, who is a monk, I follow his advice very closely, and he was the one who actually advised me and helped me so much to grow in life after my second relationship. And it, you know, his advice I will forever cherish and listen to, because they are so valuable. He and I said to him, I can't move on because I'm so angry towards him. And he said, why? If you want to move on from it and you have anger towards that person, you are literally just keeping that person in your mind. If you want to move on, you need to let go. And if you can't let go, there's no moving on from that, you know? It's easier said than done, I get it, and it took me a while. But after that conversation, I just realized, you know what, like, why am I hating on this person? Why am I, you know, using or wasting my emotions or my time thinking about that person? I know exactly what happened. I know why it didn't go right. I know all these reasons, and still I find time to just, you know, fill my head with hatred and anger and, you know, just all these things without letting go. So that's the number one tip. And the thing is, it's definitely hard going through a breakup. If you live in the same city, if you live together, it would be harder. If you have kids together, it's gonna be extremely hard. If you've been married, it's gonna be hard. There is no such, there's no easy thing when it comes to relationships, you know. But what you have to understand is, little by little, if you don't let go, there's no moving on from that. Even if you have kids, if you find out the middle ground and work out a plan, and or you know, you might have some legal grounds to go through, like if it's like a divorce or something, you need to have an open communication for the sake of your children. You can't just be like, you know, I'm gonna get a divorce, you know, whatever. Because after having kids, it's different. But if it's just the two of you, have a conversation. This is the end. There's no turning back. You've tried, and you just need to take that extra step and make it official, finalize everything, so you have closure and you can move on. And take that experience and turn it into something positive. It could be trying to lose weight. It could be finding a new job. It could be moving to a new state or a new country just to experience life, you know, or just, you know, moving back with your family, and, you know, you will have some time to just enjoy life rather than thinking about that relationship and dwelling on it. So make that into a positive and go from there. And then just have positive feelings. You know, if if you're being sad and very just thinking about the same thing over and over, having regrets, it's never gonna work. I do hope my advice and tips and tricks help you in any way. And if you like to like for me to talk about more topics like this, leave it in the comment section, and I will do another relationship marriage advice type of video with my husband. I think that would be fun to get the male perspective as well, but that's for the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video, and I will provide all the links down below to my Instagram and my baby boutique and things like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.